Sources are telling CBC News that Canada Post is refusing to collect firearms that are banned under Ottawa's buyback program. The Crown Corporation is citing safety concerns for their staff. The federal government announced the program in 2020 with the aim of removing more than 100,000 firearms from gun owners. CBC's Tricia Kindleman joins us now with more on this. So, Tricia, what more can you tell us on this in terms of background here?
Yeah, Jacqueline. So we did hear from the Prime Minister today. He was at a stop in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and he was asked about these safety concerns. Now, this safety concern we learned about it through sources. Our colleagues at Radio Canada were given a letter that was sent around by Canada Post that talked about their concern with having to send their staff to collect these guns that are now outlawed by what's known as Bill C-21. So it was, of course, a controversial decision when this bill was proposed, when it was passed, and it continues to be divisive. So here's a bit more about what the Prime Minister had to say about those concerns.
We are going to do everything to make sure they remain illegal and that people be fairly compensated for something they bought back when it was perfectly legal to do so. And we'll work with a broad range of partners.
So now he didn't go into specifics about who those partners could be, but Ottawa says that they plans to have the banned guns placed in, or the plan was rather, I should say, to have those guns placed unloaded and secured into shipping packages, which would then be handled by Canada Post and sent back to a central location where they would then be destroyed. And of course, these owners are expected to be financially compensated for those. Now, this ban does also expand into handguns as well. It also brought in some additional legislation around the so-called ghost guns, which now those are created by 3D printers. And there's been an increase in instances across the country. Law enforcement in a number of cities has cited their concerns around the increase of these on the streets and that they have been confiscating. So this all does encapsulate some stuff for that as well. Now, we should note that the government sources say that they're puzzled by Canada Post's refusal, and they say that the corporation does already deliver guns that are sold online. So handling weaponry isn't necessarily unfamiliar territory for them. But federal officials have told our Radio Canada colleagues that they are confident this program will still be able to go ahead and that it would be the most efficient way for them to be able to recover those banned weapons. Now, again, this was officially announced in 2020, and they were hoping to finalize the plans for this before that next election, which we know is looming in 2025.
So what have gun owners been doing with their weapons in the meantime now that they're banned?
That's right. So, Jacqueline, they've basically been sitting in gun safes. They've been required to lock them up. They are now considered banned. They're not able to use them anywhere in any way in the country, legally at least. And so with that, they say they're just sitting there collecting dust. And many of these gun owners want to be able to either move forward and figure out what they're going to do with these weapons and get that financial compensation as well.
Okay, Tricia, thanks so much for this. That's the CBC's Tricia Kindleman.